University of Kashmir, and the presentations, the title of the present topic is COVID-19 and domestic violence in Kashmir versus women. And this is an important theme which we really need to seriously, not only to understand, but also we need to seriously rethink about the entire issues of domestic violence and COVID-19 issues. This is over to Imran Ahmad and Inatullah Maglu. Please go ahead.
Good evening. This is Imran Ahmed Khan from Kashmir University. I'm doing PhD in Kashmir University. Am I audible?
Yes, you're perfectly audible.
Okay, fine. So actually, our research was actually this is survey-based paper that is COVID-19 and domestic violence in Kashmir, voices from women. So we have actually did a survey, online survey. So we could reach out about 210 women in Kashmir region of 10 districts, and on that survey, we have concluded our paper. So this is actually domestic violence in Kashmir. Domestic violence has become a global pandemic long before COVID-19 outbreak. It is claimed that due to COVID-induced lockdown, a continual rise is spotted in the numbers of sick people. Growing unemployment, increased anxiety and financial stress, scarcity of community resources, etc. Resultantly, these factors are believed to have set the stage for an exaggerated hype in domestic violence cases. Experts have characterized the invisible pandemic of domestic violence as a ticking time bomb or a perfect storm. The connection between physical insecurity and economic insecurity is claimed to be tangible for people who might be less attuned to domestic violence. There is now a unique opportunity to shed light on the economic dimensions of domestic and gender based violence. Indeed, a thorough examination and deep introspection of the impact of novel diseases need to be mapped out. However, it needs to be noted down that present study is limited to the region of Kashmir. At the same time, rising domestic violence against women in Kashmir Valley during pandemic lockdown of COVID-19 is matter of concern and need to be highlighted, and simultaneously efforts should be made on part of government, NGOs or others to contain such violence. A detailed study of such pandemic accelerated gender-based violence seems a must. A study which could possibly map out the role of different factors ranging from age, education, job, etc. to others on the acceleration or maximization of domestic violence in Kashmir amidst of pandemic. After taking all those pros and cons into consideration, the present study set itself to examine the relationship between COVID-19 and domestic violence in Kashmir. All the 10 districts of Kashmir region were included in study, and among each district a maximum of 21 participants were selected. To reach the desired and draw the results, the present paper has undertaken an online questionnaire too. On the basis of the survey and all the data we collected, we have analyzed the study, and our outcome has some major findings. The major findings are: first major finding is found that minimum age gap is between fewer than 20 and above 50 years, that is 3% respectively, and maximum age group is between 20 to 30 years, that is 53%. It means Kashmir is having a good number of adult women population, which could become a significant factor in economic development and socio-political equality in the region. It is found that marriage provides a legitimate space for oppression and subjugation of female bodies in Kashmiri family structure. It has also been found that age is instrumental in creating domestic violence acts like threatened by fist, hand or foot, weapons or objects. monitoring of cell phones, and allowing women to dress as they like. However, the study also found that many other acts, methods of domestic violence are not dependent on the age of women. These acts are inalienable in to patriarchic mindset of society like Kashmir. It has been found that women with good educational background don't witness horrible acts of domestic violence from their family members. It can be proposed that in order to minimize domestic violence, it is important to strengthen the educational background of women, as later will strengthen their economic status, and economic stability plays a vital role in halting any type of domestic violence. The data supplements the general Marxist belief that economy determines the superstructure of the society. The results suggest that there is a direct relationship between the income structure of families and domestic violence in Kashmir. It is found that family, both joint and nuclear, is central in sustaining the domestic violence in Kashmir, which is against conventional belief of joint family as the main institution of domestic violence. A direct relationship between severe financial loss of families due to pandemic and the acts of dominance, like control of women bodies, threats, punishments, and not allowing women to wear a dress of their own choice, is commonly found in the study. It shows that these acts of patriarchy were present in Kashmir before the start of the pandemic. It is found that job loss suffered due to COVID-19 lockdown led to increased acts of domestic violence in Kashmir. It has accelerated acts like shouting, screaming, and swearing upon the female partner, controlling women bodies by keeping them sort of short of money, keeping them out of money, locking women inside house, punishing women by hitting children in front of mothers, and threatening to commit suicide. We have some suggestions on the base of our study, yeah, on the base of our survey. First suggestion is to avoid the unequal exchange within families. Government must provide employment and economic opportunities to women workforce available in Kashmir. Besides, government of Kashmir needs to implement more schemes like integrated child development schemes, handicrafts, self-help group loans, self-employment schemes, the National Equity Fund scheme, and others. If all of these schemes are implemented properly, it will enhance the economic freedom of women, which would automatically strengthen their position in the family, like in patriarchal structure in Kashmir. Besides, new schemes need to be approved by the governments which are pro-woman in nature. The religious, political, and other leaders of charisma need to engage to impart education among masses about the deadly impact of domestic violence. State authorities must pass different laws to effect which would provide a reasonable space for the privacy of women. All those who breach privacy must be punished. The state needs to strengthen the policing and surveillance measures in every district of Kashmir, like installation of close proximity between people and police, installation of CCTV cameras in all those families of which any member launched a complaint of male oppression or dominance, to have a close vigil on the activities of family. A 24/7 toll-free helpline number for these cases needs to be opened up in every district of Kashmir to halt any possible miscarriage in delivering the justice to women. To eradicate the domestic violence, we need to educate women to strengthen their economic position in family. Creating public awareness campaigns to raise awareness about the impact of domestic violence of familial stability, mental health, and dignity of human beings is the dire need to look for in Kashmir. In every district, mobile courts like Nyay Panchayats specific to domestic violence cases need to be opened up. There is absence of some basic facilities which other states of India have opted for. So the authorities, so the state authorities like in J&K need to provide some basic income scheme for all those who are out of a job now due to the pandemic, as the study shows. At least unless the pandemic ends, the government of Jammu and Kashmir needs to collaborate with more non-governmental organizations to educate the masses about the deadly impact of domestic violence. The state government need to make developmental discourse local, as those men or women who are going to take part in it will safer, especially till the end of the pandemic. To conclude here, we can say that lockdown has increased the domestic violence throughout the globe, as our national newspaper, The Hindu, has commented. In India, domestic violence has also taken up upper hand. Jammu and Kashmir, especially Kashmir region, to which the present study is confined, it is clear from the empirical data that domestic violence against women has increased manifold since the imposition of the lockdown due to the COVID-19. People have become jobless, which has directly impacted the psychological makeup and economic structure of the families. The economic structure of the family has direct correlation with the domestic violence against a woman. The study has found that the reason behind the acceleration of domestic violence in Kashmir, economic receding of families. Women within families are tortured and abused because of economic anxieties created by COVID-19 crisis. Besides, governmental and NGOs which can help the women to come out of the trauma of violence are very few in number, especially in Kashmir Valley. Thank you very much.
Uh, Thank you so much, Imran Ahmed Khan. And this the floor is open. If any would like to have any observations or any questions, please go ahead. There is one question in the chat box. Imran, could you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I please loud it. Please read it.
Abid.
Assalamualaikum, Imran Bhai. My question to you is, how has the abrogation of Article 370 and shutting down of Women's Commission impacted women daily life in Kashmir?
Yeah, actually, I can say that that abrogation of Article 370 has nothing to do with all these, but shutting down the Women Commission has actually halted the process by which by which women can lodge their complaints with the Women Commission, and from that way, none of the commissions has been established yet. So women are facing very much crisis to lodge any complaint with the commission as far as the domestic violence and other abuses are concerned with the woman. But abrogation of Article 370 has nothing to do with the with this case.
It seems there is another questions by Gulam. Gulam, please go ahead and Imran, could you just respond to these questions, or should I read out?
Yeah, there is Gulam Mohidisha.
Yeah.
Besides domestic violence, there are actions for response for violence towards women in Kashmir. What are they? What are these external forces you are saying? I'm not getting that. External forces, you must say the conflict which is holding the empowerment of. Yeah, Inat Muglu, raise you. Yeah, you want to.
Can I join in?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Imran, for such good presentation. And actually, I have joined because I saw a question which has been posed by Ghulam Mohdish on domestic violence and the role of external forces in Kashmir. Actually, it is a, I think, lamb-langer argument, which he is putting in, I mean to say, into debate. Like there are no external forces. If we are going to blame for domestic violence to some external forces, that means we are denying indigenous the role of indigenous factors in domestic violence, which our study shows us that there is no external role of any factor, like neither Pakistan, neither India, nor anybody is playing role in the domestic violence of women. It is the men of our society who are having patriarchal mindset, and it is the economic structure of our society which is compelling people to behave the way they are behaving. Are you getting it? Hello.
Yeah, please, you respond. I think he is listening. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is the simple thing, because we have found in the study that only the people of Kashmir who have been trapped within their home, who have been confined within their home, are taking recourse to these acts. They are at loggerheads with their women folk, especially since the imposition of lockdown in the valley, especially after the imposition of COVID-19 lockdown. And this study has found that it is the people of Kashmir, it is the husband of wife who is living in Kashmir. There is no external factor or no external ideology in hindering freedom of women. It is because of economic impediments, and it is because of COVID-induced lockdown. That's it. That is the simple answer which both of us can put into, debate. And
Okay. Thank you, Mangdu. And any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay, please.
okay,
I
proceed.
have a question. So, you're talking about the patriarchy and its impact, how it exploit women. The hegemonic masculinity is the backbone of patriarchy. It exploits not only women but also minors and other men. So
Yes.
we have seen that we found that the suicide rate of men for the domestic issue are almost 3 times higher than women's. So domestic violence also, we can see that not only for women, but also men also. So in your paper, how do you, in your regions, especially Kashmir, so how the men are affected by this patriarchal, these systems, how they are exploited in the domestic space? Thank you. And
Uh,
how they are affected by these pandemic situations. And
okay.
next question is that you're talking about that the 370 is not the issue of women. Can I say that? Yes, it's obviously political issue. For your answer that the 370 is not the issue of women, then we can consider it that it is issue of men only.
No, 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 no.
Thank you.
I think you have taken you are understanding 370 around in a wrong way. Abrogation of 370 have different identity from the rest of India, which was enshrined in the Constitution of India. And secondly, and more importantly, women rights were secured within that article of the Indian Constitution. It was well framed, well discussed, and well dressed, in fact, by the Indian mainstream. So the most important question for me, which I got from you, is how male people are suffering due to domestic violence. Aren't they suffering? Yeah, they are suffering. They are suffering one thing. They are facing anxieties because they are not having a job. They are facing you are not doing. Because of that, when there has been scuffle between husband and his wife, these are more often than not, these things happen into valley, like when you are economically deprived, when you don't have economic access or anything else, these things add to your misery. They are not going to help you out. And in fact, male people do suffer, but the question is, why they become who becomes physical. It is the male person who tries to be I mean to get to attack her woman, who tries to beat her woman because of anxiety. Is no doubt he is suffering psychologically. I agree with that. He suffers economically and emotionally as well. Otherwise there is no issue as such which you are talking about. I hope I am making sense. Hello.
Yeah, there's another questions from Abdul Bashir. Inayatullah, you can see the questions by Abdul Bashir
Bashir
about
saying
will
only
only
economic
economic upliftment. Yeah, that one.
of women lead to their empowerment in status. What is your observation of women in USA from 1920 to 220 compared with women of Kashmir? Firstly, I would like to put on palette that I haven't studied the women of USA. And secondly, as my study is concerned, my study shows in a very clear manner there is relation between economic upliftment and minimizing of domestic violence. If we are going to create economic structures in a well-fashioned way, they are going to add up to the political, economic, and social freedom of the people, especially women folk of the Kashmir. Uh, Hello.
Yes, another questions.
How has race and caste impacted women's life? And since men marry non-Kashmiris like Bengalis and Kashmiris from undercaste background, since men marry non-Kashmiris like Bengalis and Kashmiris from undercaste, no doubt this is a good question which this Sheikh Abid Hussain has put forth, like race and caste. Those people who are not getting, I mean, well settled life here, who are not getting women of their choice, they marry outside because it is economically convenient to these people. It adds to them because these people are not able to get wife here. It is actually it is if we see on a deeper level, it is some sort of those people who are lower classes here do marry outside. Especially I'm not making a generalization, but out of 100, as I have seen in my district, I have seen out of 100 people, almost 80% are underprivileged people who marry outside with the poor people who have been there affected by the class and caste structure of the society, and they take them as a bondage. They buy them. I have seen many marriages in Kashmir who buy their wives outside Kashmir, and even within the Kashmiri society, because poverty plays an important role, and I mean economic unfreedom, what Amartya Sen must say to it, that makes a good sense when we take these things into consideration. Uh,
Okay, thank you. There are questions like all mostly about 370 and all. I'm sure these are the issues which,
yeah,
and
these
if you
things
would
need
like
to
to
be.
answer, you wish you please, you can.
I would have no issue, no issue. I am here to answer. After abrogation of 370, how it is affecting the lives of individuals. I think media is portraying it in a, I mean, bad way. You may be seeing that development is happening, this thing is happening, that thing is nothing that like that is happening on the ground. People on the ground are suffering because they have been deprived of their liberty. They have been deprived of their liberty for almost 1 year. It is since August 5 we are enslaved within our homes, and we know without internet, without I mean freedom to get out of our homes, how life seems and how life actually is. And it is the wearer who exactly knows where shoe pinches. And we have lived reality of this situation that we have been denied access to internet since last year. Even as a researcher, I can't do anything. I am helpless, and I can't put forth things. I can't demand in a genuine way. These demands add up to my misery, and it will actually land up to a person like me in a prison with a UAPA slapped on my head. Are you getting?
Yes, yes, we can understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the. actual situation. And another question is, will economic improvement of Kashmiri males decrease domestic violence of Kashmir? Yeah. Both way. Because if we are going to provide economic opportunities to the people of the Kashmir, they will definitely spend this money on their different comforts which society, which market provides to them. That will actually add up add up to the woman freedom, because when a person is economically in a good position, is in good boots of money, he will definitely add up to make things in a good fashion for her wife, children, or anybody who is related to him. When he is in a destitute condition, how could he be a good person, good husband, good brother, good son? When he has nothing in hand, when he is working on the alam of others, how it is going to work out? Mm, I think it is enough to answer this question.
Yeah, thank you both Anatullah and Ahmed Khan for your good presentations and answering all those queries and for your interventions. Now this is our final and the final speakers.